Islam views Palestine, particularly Jerusalem or Al-Quds, as sacred land blessed by Allah. The conflict is seen through principles of justice, opposition to oppression, which is called zulm, and the sanctity of Al-Aqsa Mosque. So, below is a detailed analysis with Islamic references, historical context, and evidence of Palestinian dispossession. Al-Aqsa Mosque, also known as Bayt al-Maqdis, is mentioned in the Quran, chapter 17, verse 1. Exalted is he who took his servant by night from Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, whose surroundings we have blessed. This marks Al-Aqsa as Islam's third holiest site. The Hadith, for example Sahih Bukhari 1189, emphasize that prayers here are multiplied in reward. Palestine is also known as the land of prophets, being linked to prophets like Ibrahim, Dawood, Sulaiman, and Isa. The Quran, chapter 21, verses 71 to 81, mentions Allah granting this land to righteous servants. Muslims governed Jerusalem peacefully for centuries, from 638 to 1917 of the Common Era, allowing religious freedom for Jews and Christians under the Pact of Umar. Islam strongly condemns injustice. In Quran chapter 4 verse 75, Allah asks, "And what is the matter with you that you fight not in the cause of Allah and for the oppressed among men, women and children?" This verse is often cited to support Palestinian resistance against occupation. The prohibition of forced displacement is clear in Quran, chapter 2, verse 84, which forbids expelling people from their homes. The 1948 expulsion of 700,000 Palestinians, known as the Nakba, and ongoing displacements, violate this principle. The sanctity of life and property is also emphasized. Demolishing homes, killing civilians as found in Quran 532, and annexing land as in Quran 2:188 are all prohibited. During the British Mandate from 1917 to 1948, the Balfour Declaration of 1917 pledged a Jewish national home in Palestine, violating promises of independence made to Arabs in the Hussein McMahon Correspondence. Britain facilitated mass Jewish immigration, which really fueled tensions. The United Nations Partition Plan of 1947 through UN Resolution 181 allocated 55% of Palestine to Jews who owned just 6% of the land and made up 33% of the population. Palestinians rejected the plan as unjust. The Nakba of 1948 saw Zionist militias like Irgun and Haganah expel Palestinians from villages such as Deir Yassin, a massacre documented by historians like Benny Morris. Israel declared statehood, seizing 78% of Palestine. Since 1967, Israel has occupied Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem. UN Resolution 242 demands withdrawal from occupied territories, but settlements have expanded illegally, as noted in United Nations Security Council Resolution 2334, further fragmenting Palestinian land. There are, over 700,000 settlers now living in 279 illegal West Bank settlements, according to B'Tselem in 2023. Since 1967, more than 60,000 Palestinian structures have been demolished as documented by ICAHD. The blockade of Gaza has lasted for 16 years, creating a severe humanitarian crisis, as reported by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. And there have been repeated raids and restrictions on Muslim worshippers at Al-Aqsa, seriously impacting their ability to pray freely. The Oslo Accords back in 1993 promised Palestinian self-rule, but instead we saw more settlements and more checkpoints. In fact, Israel actually doubled the number of settlers during the so-called peace talks between 1993 and 2000. Declassified Israeli archives like the Palestine Papers reveal, plans to depopulate Palestinian areas, what many call ethnic cleansing, and both Human Rights Watch in 2021 and Amnesty International in 2022 have reported that Israel enforces apartheid through laws that frankly favor Jews over Palestinians. The Quran says, "Do not let hatred of a people prevent you from being just." Muslims are urged to support Palestinians not because of ethnicity but, because we must always stand against oppression. The Hadith from Musnad Ahmad states, "The Ummah of Muhammad will invade until they reach Bayt al-Maqdis, Jerusalem." This really highlights Jerusalem's central place in Islamic teachings about the end times. Islam strongly condemns the occupation and ethnic cleansing of Palestine as grave injustices or zulm. The destruction of homes, building settlements on stolen land, and the desecration of Al-Aqsa are all clear violations of Islamic principles and, honestly, international law as well. While Islam respects Judaism as mentioned in the Quran, Surah 29 verse 46, political Zionism's colonial project is actually seen as a betrayal of the shared values among the Abrahamic faiths. For those who want to learn more, here are some key references. First, the Quran Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17 verse 1, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4 verse 75, and Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 verse 84. Then from the Hadith, check Sahih Bukhari, specifically the Book of Virtues of Jerusalem. There are also important United Nations resolutions, 181 from 1947, 242 from 1967, and 2334 from 2016. Human rights reports from organizations like Betrayal, Amnesty International from 2022, and Human Rights Watch from 2021 are also vital. And for historical sources, Ilan Pape's The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine and the United Nations, OCHA databases provide a lot of context. Muslims around the world, advocate for Palestinian rights through diplomatic, humanitarian, and scholarly efforts. All of this is grounded in Islam's enduring call for justice and dignity for every oppressed person.